Hello and welcome to the Portuguese Grand Prix here in Portimao at the Algarve International Circuit from a sweltering hot commentary box that I am sitting in right now. Previous winner here in Portugal was Franco Lopez in 2020, obviously. The lap record being set by Roland Moitian, 117.790, 15 corners, circuit length of 4.653 kilometers, 66 laps, and of course, last race in Germany we had Evan Byrne winning finally after about 100 years and tons of bad luck. He won in Germany, deservedly so. So the question is here in Portugal, will we have a different winner than Mercedes? It seems like it will be that way because Mercedes have not been on their game at the moment. The tyres for this race will be the medium tyres, as you can see, and practice results are on your screen. It was Fred Gamba ahead of Chris Chatfield in second, George Ruck third, Jake Galloway fourth, Grosma de Rosa fifth, Franco Lopez sixth, Amarcar seventh, Jesus Perrin in eighth, Joseph Withers ninth, and Gabriel Gomez surprisingly quite high in 10th position. That was practice, however, and we'll take a look at what the grid was for the Portuguese Grand Prix. And here we go. And a surprising man that was on pole position, and that man was Jesus Perrin, taking his first pole position of the season, and a Renault front row as well, with Evan Byrne alongside him. Row 2, we have Laura Chung, very impressive for Lamborghini, with Jake Galloway alongside her. Row 3, the two Red Bulls of Franco Gamba and George Roque. Row 4, we have Romain Quag for Alfa Romeo, very good qualifying from him, and Carlos Pedrosa 8th for McLaren. 9th is Joseph Willows and Chris Chatfield for McLaren and Ferrari respectively. Row 6, Amarcar for Mercedes and Andrea Federi, 12th for Alfa Romeo. 13th place is Rahul Patel for Lamborghini, and Jamie Griffiths actually not on the back of the grid for once in 14th. Row 8 is the two Hungarians of Nicolas Gal for AlphaTauri and Roland Moitian for Aston Martin. Franco Lopez very low down in 17th place with Emilio Wilson alongside him in 18th. On row 10 we have David Cooper for AlphaTauri and Felix Santo for Williams, and the final row of the grid we have Julius Anderson for Aston Martin and Daniel Fraser for Haas. So that is the grid for the Portuguese Grand Prix, and to break news before we get started is the shocking news that Franco Gamba will retire from the top class at the end of the season. However, he is not going to leave the OC as a whole, and he intends to compete in another series from 2022, so wonder what that will be. Jump car. Anyway, so that is a big surprise. So we're going to have already the silly season is going to start very early, or rumours are going to go around. But nonetheless, we still have a race to do, and it will be a dry race, no surprise being in Portugal, and it will be sunny, 0% chance of rain. So we'll now go to the grid, and we'll see who is going to win the second ever Portuguese Grand Prix. Somewhere in the distance there are nimble Formula 1 cars waiting to start, and the 5 lights are now coming on for the Portuguese Grand Prix here at Algarve. The 5 lights are now on and they go out, and we are underway here in Portugal, and it looks like Perrin has got a good launch off the line. Byrne not so much, and already looks like Chung has got past him as they head towards the first corner, so Chung already up to second, and she might even go for the lead here, and she is going to go for the lead. She launches it down the inside, Laura Chung, and takes the lead for Lamborghini. What a start. Meanwhile, George Roque has got a huge amount of fuel on his car, so he's going to have a tough first stint as we look at all the cars going through. Willows alongside Ferrari there. There's a bit of damage. I think there's a wing missing on an AlphaTauri, so there is damage going on. There's David Kupok who's been involved yet again. Amarcar has also got damage as well. So let's have a look what happened. We're looking on board from David Kupok as they're coming through the round. Oh, it was the Williams there that originally went into the back, and then obviously Kupok went into them, and just a whole chain reaction occurred there, you could say, as they all the cars coming through turn 5, which is an overtaking spot, but is also known as a bit of a crash spot. But meanwhile, the front two already getting away from Roque, as meanwhile Franco Gamba is behind the Renault of Byrne for 4th position. Willows in 9th, Quag in 7th, De Rosa in 6th, as they're coming through this long up and down section like a roller coaster, to quote your favourite racing driver. So as you look on with Franco Gamba, who has got enough fuel, looks like it's going to be for a 2-stop. So look at all the cars with damage, the car dropping down to the back of the field, as there's an Alfa Romeo that is of Andrea Federi, that's the other one that got damage from that. So meanwhile, Moitian and Anderson both moved off a number of positions. We're looking at Willows, who is trying to go past the Ferrari of Jake Galloway, heading up towards the first corner, and he's alongside his fellow Brit, and this should be an easy move up into the first corner. Yep, he's already passed, and he makes it up the inside. Good job there. Meanwhile, I don't know if Quag went a little bit wide there. He seemed to go through the corner very slowly there, but Chung, I wouldn't say has built up a lead. She's got just under a second lead, half a second that is, although Perrin did gain a little bit on her, coming towards the end of the first sector there. And meanwhile, Rahul Patel also now trying to go past Galloway, coming into turn 5. He's on the inside, and this should be an easy move for him, and he does make it. Nearly contact, but no harm done. And now Galloway under pressure from his teammate, and now Miklas Gau trying to go past Chatfield here, up into 11th, and I thought he had done it there, but to no avail. So I was looking at Chung, who's got Perrin nearly up her gearbox. Meanwhile, George Roke a little bit further behind Carr, now coming out of the pits in 19th for Derry, then Kupok, and Jamie Griffiths was the other one who was involved. But you can see, looking at Gau, you can see, look at how much fuel Roke's got. So clearly, George Roke in the Red Bull is to be doing the one stop. I mean, 40 laps of fuel is a lot. Of the Renault there has got a lot of fuel, and so does De Rossa. So number of one stops here in Portugal, which may not be necessarily good with the hard tyres, particularly in Portugal when it's hot. But we shall see if they can keep the pace up. But meanwhile, Jesus Perrin is just the fastest lap. As now we're looking at De Rossa, who is going past his teammate Evan Byrne, heading up towards the first corner. And I said teammate, that's not right. De Rossa going past the Renault of Evan Byrne. And meanwhile, his actual teammate, Joseph Willows, moving up into 7th position. So, McLaren's making their moves at the start of this race. As you can see, Lopez down the orders. Oh, Fraser makes a mistake coming through the first corner and almost, and somehow avoids getting collected by Franco Lopez there. That was a scary, almost a terrible incident. But you can see Fraser went wide, locked up, rejoined, and somehow, we'll see the Mercedes going past. Somehow, the Mercedes of Lopez, who, by the way, had just set the fastest lap, somehow managed to avoid contact there. And that is very lucky. So, Lopez will need a new pair of pants after that one. Meanwhile, Chatfield once again trying to go past his teammate into the turn 5 hairpin, and he finally does. And now Galloway's under pressure from Miklas Gau in the AlphaTauri, who I think actually is already going to go past Galloway, and the answer is yes, he is. And Galloway, as you can see, the reason why he's struggling is that he's on a 1-stop. Gau, meanwhile, has got light fuel, so he's probably going to be on a 3-stop. We're looking at Quark, who's under pressure from Rahul Patel in the Lamborghini, coming in towards the first corner, the green Lambo. And so Patel now makes it through. And meanwhile, Daniel Fraser sets the fastest lap. Having made that mistake, he now sets the fastest lap of the race. So proving how evenly matched these cars are. Meanwhile, we're looking at Laura Chung still leading just ahead of Perrin and Roke, now under pressure from his teammate Franco Gambra as they come in towards turn 5. Gambra on the inside. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. They have made contact. Would you believe it? They have made contact with each other. Two McLarens go by, but meanwhile, I think Willows is sneaking past De Rossa, and he's made the move stick there. So good move there by Willows. But the two Red Bulls, and just after, of course, the announcement of Gambra going to retire at the end of the season, and they have made contact. Would you believe it? And Gambra, who is starting already to streak clear at the top of the standings, is not going to be streaking clear after this one, and he is out of the race, and so is his teammate George Roke, and George Roke himself, who's not had a fantastic start to the season, really. But it's turn 5 once again, which has caused incidents in previous seasons, not just here, but in F2 as well. So this is the replay. So this was Gambra on the inside of Roke, and I mean, it was just one of those things. You could see it happening a mile off. Don't really think you could blame one driver more than the others. This was Gambra on the inside. He was sticking there, and I suppose maybe Roke, you could say Roke turned him, but he had to make the corner somehow. Now this is the onboard from Joseph Willis, who we saw just in the background as they collided. De Rossa, who had to brake suddenly to avoid going into the back of the Red Bull there. Willis said, thank you very much, although maybe team orders, and now makes his way up into 3rd place. So 3rd place from 9th on the grid in just 6 laps. That is a good start for Willows, as the incident between Gambra and Roke concluded to be a racing incident. Not a surprise there. Meanwhile, Rella Moyton in the Aston Martin having a good start to this race. Now getting up to the points, going past Jake Galloway in the Ferrari. Gal, meanwhile, is also up into 9th in the AlphaTauri, so a lot of progress being made. Perrin once again still sticking behind Chung, but not able to make the mistake. As meanwhile now Julius Anderson in the Aston Martin going past Jake Galloway in the Ferrari. He does so, and oh, meanwhile Fraser now passes Lopez into turn 1 there. Blimey, I didn't see that one coming. But you can see this straight line speed the Haas has heading up towards the first corner, and Fraser took advantage and took the place away from Lopez, and he's the one who still has the fastest lap at this moment in time. Meanwhile, this is Chatfield, who's going past the one-stopping Evan Byrne, coming down the front straight, heading up towards the first corner. And is he going to make the mistake on the inside? The answer is no, he can't. Meanwhile, Gal goes past Quag for 8th place, and now Moyton behind is going to make a move soon, if he's not careful. And meanwhile, again, Perrin has stuck this gap to Chung less than a second for the entire 9 laps that we've been going. Not able to be close to making a move. Meanwhile, speaking of making a move, Moyton on the inside of Quag into the first corner, and does he make it stick? And the answer is yes, he does. And although Quag actually almost goes into the back of him, and now Julius Anderson is looking to make a move, and meanwhile Fraser is also close behind too. Lopez down in 13th position at the moment, but he will gain more positions soon enough, you would expect, in that Mercedes, as they're coming up towards turn 5. Meanwhile, there is a move behind being made. This is Emilio Wilson on Jake Galloway, who is falling like a domino down the order at this moment in time. He's now down to 15th place. He was running in the points, and meanwhile, this is the greatest battle in OC history. This is Evan Byrne versus Chris Chatfield. They head up towards the first quarter, but again, Chatfield has tried this for a couple of laps now and has not been able to make it stick, although he's close here. No. I thought he had it then. I really thought he did, but he wasn't able to do it. And so now he's got Gal behind him. Meanwhile, I think the Aston Martin, that was of, I think, Anderson passing Quag for 10th into the first corner there. Chatfield, once again, can he make a move into turn 5? He's just about the slipstream, but he's a little bit too far away, I think, to make a move on him. But now they've got Nicholas Gal for company, as meanwhile Daniel Fraser set to come into the pits for his first stop, so it's going to be quite an early one. So obviously for him it's going to be a 3-stopper. So as Fraser now comes in, and Callaway all the way down to 60th position. Yikes, that's not good. So Perrin once again as close as he's ever been really to the back of Chung, and now Rahul Patel in the other Lamborghini coming in for his first stop. This is on lap 12, so it's more than likely going to be a 3-stop for him as well. So as we look now at Patel coming into his pit box, it's quite a long way in. He has to go. We'll change over hotels. We'll see how much fuel they put into his car.
Okay, no
and the answer is it's 26. So yeah, that's 20. I mean, that could be a 2, but I think more than likely it will be a 3. Meanwhile, Jesus Perrin is now going to come into the pits, maybe to try and undercut on Laura Chung, who has been close to Chung, but has just not been able to get close enough to make a move on the inside or at any point at the track. So now Joseph Willows up from 9th to 2nd after 13 laps. Perrin comes in, and that is 30 laps of fuel, so that is actually quite a long stint for Perrin, but that means surely that he's going to be doing the 2-stop strategy and not the 3, which I think is probably the way to go really, as you're super quick. So there's Griffiths at the moment, who's running in plumb last. Lopez now in the points, Sontok in the points as well. There's a Haas in the pits as well. So we're looking at Chatfield, who is close behind Byrne yet again, who has been ever since the start. And here we go again. So they're coming up towards the first corner. Now the Renault now overtaking the Ferrari, but this is not, of course, Byrne versus Chatfield. This is Perrin versus Galloway, and Perrin makes it through pretty easy because Galloway really can't put up any defence. He's got extremely old tyres. Chatfield once again trying into turn 5, but failing once again to make it through. Meanwhile, Joseph Willows at the moment in second position. You see, actually has gained quite a bit actually on Laura Chung, and he is pitting this lap. So Willows seems to be very quick at this stage in the race, and he is also going to try the undercut on Laura Chung, it seems. Chung, who has had the lead for the first 20 laps, and meanwhile Andrea Federi is in the pits yet again for a mechanical problem. So his race is going from bad to worse as well, having just pitted I think a few laps ago. So he's in, and now Joseph Willows is in for his first stop of the race. It's going to obviously be a 2-stop, because once you're past the lap 20 mark, it's definitely going to be a 2-stop. So as we look at Willows going in, we'll see how much fuel they put in. It will obviously be a 2-stop, but how much fuel do they put in?
No pressure.
And that is 32. So yeah, he's going quite long actually on this stint, is Joseph Willows. And so he comes out of the pits, although I think that was that 9 seconds off. It was a little bit slow actually there from the McLaren pit crew, and so that could have an impact. So where does Willows come out with regards to Perrin? And he's going to come out, actually looks like quite comfortably ahead of Perrin. So Willows still stays ahead of Perrin, which is important. But now here is the next bit. Here is Laura Chung coming into the pits for her first stop of the race. Can she still stay out ahead of Willows and also Perrin as well? So it looks like there's a few cars coming into the pits. I think there's Chris Chatfield and Franco Lopez are both coming in as well. So a number of drivers coming in on this lap. So Chung is in. changes all 4 tyres, and actually a little bit less fuel than the others. But she comes out of her pit box again, not particularly fast. I think that was 8 seconds, although that was still a second quicker than Willows, which it could be all she needs. So she comes out of the pits, and where is Willows? And there he is. Looks like Chung is going to stay out in front, just about, but Willows is right there, so we're back to where we were after the pit stop. But crucially, Chung does come out ahead, but unfortunately for her, they've got a lot of traffic in front. They've got Moichin, Quag, Anderson, Moichin. They've got a number of cars. Yeah, they've got a number of cars they've got to overtake, and here we are now, looking at Chung now trying to overtake. This is the Alfa Romeo of Quag heading up towards the first corner. Willows now in the slipstream, well over 340 kilometers an hour, well over 200. Chung on the inside of the Alfa Romeo of Quag, and Chung does make the move on past Quag. Crucially, now Willows will look to do the same, and he needs to get it done ASAP, as now we're looking at Chung, who's going to go past the Aston Martin. This is of Julius Anderson heading up towards the first corner, and Willows behind. I think I don't know if he's overtaking another car behind. I couldn't quite see who that was. I'm pretty sure that was Willows. Yeah, it was Willows, and Willows does now get past Quag, and now Willows will have to get past Anderson. So they're all having to get past the traffic, and actually Perrin will be the next one to make it through as well, if he can. Looking on board in P12, this is Daniel Fraser. We're looking now, Willows on the inside of Anderson into the first corner, and he does make it stick. He is up into P4, and now once again he can go after Laura Chung, although he has lost a bit of time to her, but has definitely seemed to be the quicker car than Laura Chung. Well, he certainly wasn't the first stint. Will he keep up in the second stint? I don't know. And now, meanwhile, this is Laura Chung now going past Evan Burns. Willows has obviously caught back up again a little bit, as Chung has been held up, but Chung on the inside to go past Byrne for second position. And yes, Chung is through. So now the question is, how long will it take Willows to get past Byrne? Will he do it into turn 5, or would he wait until the front straight, where we see most of the overtaking, as Anderson is now in. Now we're on to the front straight, and it looks like Willows is going to make the move on the inside, and he's alongside the Irishman with the head up towards the first corner. Willows has made it through up into third, and now he will once again go after Laura Chung in front. Can he catch her? Well, seemingly he probably will, because he's been quicker. Meanwhile, we're looking at Jesus Perrin, who's going past his teammate Evan Byrne. This is for P4, and Perrin well alongside Byrne, and this should be an easy move, and it is. There you go, he moves up into P4 past the Irishman. Now Willows a little bit back, about 2.5 seconds from Chung, but can he catch up? And crucially, let's not forget that De Rossa is the one still leading this race, and meanwhile it's always going to be 3 wide into the first quarter. This is a Haas and a Ferrari sandwich there, and Chatfield still unable to get past. Although, can he get past Galloway? The answer is no, but he tried to get past almost 3 cars into turn 1, did Chatfield, so we'll have a look at that again. So he was behind Wilson, and there was Fraser trying to get past Galloway, so he managed to get past Wilson there. Then he was trying to have a look on the inside there. Fraser, he really looked, but he couldn't do it. Did manage to make it past one Haas, but not quite the other Haas or his Ferrari teammate. So meanwhile, we're looking. This is the 2 Ferraris once again battling. This is Chatfield passing Galloway for P10. The 2 Hasses as well. The 2 Hasses. The 2 Aston Martins, as I should say, closing up on this gaggle of cars as well. But meanwhile, De Rossa still clear at the front of the field by about 14 seconds at this moment in time, and of course he's going to be doing the 1 stop in this race. Meanwhile, Wilson gets very close to the back of the Ferrari rear wing there, and I think Wilson may have been overtaken by the Aston Martin, and yes, he has. Moichin makes it through up into P12 there, but Wilson got a little bit too close to the car in front, made a mistake, and that allowed Moichin to go through, and Moichin now all over the back of Jake Galloway in the Ferrari as they head up towards the final corner, the long front straight. And now, of course, Franco Lopez is involved in this battle as well, and Moichin got the Haas behind him as well, but Moichin will surely make a move on the inside, although will he? Can't quite do it because meanwhile Franco Lopez is trying to go past all 3 of them. This is another 3 wide into turn 1. Lopez, can he do all 3? And the answer is no, he can only do 2, but he still managed to make 2 places up at turn 1. A very impressive move there from the Argentinian, and he moves past 2 cars there, moves up into 12th position. Now he can go after Avrilla Moichin, the Aston Martin, but Wilson and Galloway certainly didn't expect that one to happen, as Wilson once again tries the inside of Galloway, but Galloway defends, and once again very close to contact, but no harm done. You can see, meanwhile, Willows is now starting to claw away at the gap to Laura Chung in ahead, but of course they both need to claw away the gap to De Rosa up front. So meanwhile, this is the replay of what we just saw. Fred Lopez almost trying a 3-in-1 at turn 1, and he almost did it. I thought he was going to do it. He was so nearly there, but he didn't quite have big enough balls to make it all three of them, although there could have been a collision. But he still managed to get two into the first corner, so well done to you, Lopez. And meanwhile, this is Galloway who is just getting absolutely slaughtered by everybody. And Wilson now on the inside, heading up towards the first corner. Meanwhile, the Alfa Romeo there also making it past Anderson, or at least trying to. Quag thought he had got past. He had got past on the leaderboard, but Anderson had the momentum and kept the position there. So Anderson keeps it. Now Anderson will go after Galloway. Up towards Stefan. Galloway, I will remind you, has not pitted yet, and is, well, not having a very good stint. Let's just say that. I don't think he's really got much of a chance of points in this race. He's fallen so far down the order. But meanwhile, we're still looking at De Rosa, who's got a few laps until he pits. He's still leading this race. Willows, again, is only a second off Chung. Meanwhile, Moichin is going to go past the Ferrari of Chatfield, heading up towards the first corner here. And Chatfield, I think, maybe got a little bit held up by the car going into the pits, but nonetheless, he makes it stick past Chatfield, does Moichin, so he's up into his P8. And you've got Felix Sontag still running actually in P7. We've not seen much of him this race, but he's done a solid job. But meanwhile, you can see Willows is right behind Laura Chung. This will be the battle for second position, and you can see the gap actually now to De Rosa. They're closing it up pretty rapidly. It's now down to 5.5 seconds, or just under. You know, this is Griffiths battling with his teammate Sontag, although they're both, well, yes, he's been lapped by his teammate, and now Moichin is going to make a move on the inside of Griffiths and to lap him, and he's going to go around the outside, and yes he does, and Griffiths, unfortunately, who had damage early on, has never really been able to recover from that, and so he's having to let all these cars go. Meanwhile, this is Lopez, who's right behind Chatfield, and Griffiths, oh, hang on a second, what on earth just happened there? Did Anderson just pass Lopez? How on earth did he just do that? So let's have a look at that again. So I was not expecting that. Wasn't expecting. Look at that, Moichin just squeezing his way round down the inside of Lopez there. How on earth did he manage to do that? That was a fantastic move. Meanwhile, the battle for second place is on, and this is Willows, who's behind Chung, and meanwhile De Rosa is not that far ahead, and he had a AlphaTauri Chung right behind her. I think that was I think as Cupot tried to unlap himself. Meanwhile, they battle between A. Williams and Aston Martin heading up towards the first corner. Nothing done there, but we got once again a 4-car gaggle heading up down the front straight, heading towards the first corner. It's going to be another 3 wide. This time it's Julius Anderson going to make it 3 wide. They head up towards the first corner. Anderson's going to make it past his teammates. He's going to get past all of them. The answer is no. But he gets past the Williams. Can't quite get past his teammate though. The Ferrari manages to sneak past the Williams there. That was Chatfield passing on to. There's Lopez. There's a huge gaggle of cars in the battle for the lower reaches of the points. And so now we're looking at the Mercedes of Lopez trying to go past the Williams of Sontag, heading towards the first corner. Quag also involved as well. Lopez on the inside, and he now moves up into P9. But points do mean prizes, or they could mean prizes. Meanwhile, you can see Chung and Willows are only a second now behind De Rosa, who actually is pitting this lap. And you can see how close that Chung and Willows are. And De Rosa, I think his tyres certainly have died now, but on the one side he still managed to keep ahead of the drivers behind him, so it's been a good stint. There's that. Oh wow, that was very close. Chung got very close to the back of Cupok there. That's allowed Willows to get right on her tail as they head up towards the first corner. I think this may be the move for what is now going to be the lead of the race. Willows now alongside Laura Chung as they head up down the front straight, and I don't think Chung is going to be able to do anything to stop Willows. And Willows on the inside, and he is going to take the lead of the Portuguese Grand Prix, and so he passes Laura Chung for P1. It was only a matter of time now, pairing up into third. But now the question is obviously, what is De Rosa going to do? How much pace would he have on his new fresh set of tyres? Of course, he'll be going to the end of the race, I think. Meanwhile, there's a car going to pits there. Moichin now going past Evan Byrne, who is one of the few drivers who's yet to pit from this race. Wilson is now in for another stop, and actually Sontag, I believe, is in for his first stop actually. So now this is Julius Anderson, who's right behind. We've got a Ferrari behind there as well. Lots of battling going on in this race as they head up towards turn 5, the infamous turn 5. Anderson now trying to get alongside Byrne as they head towards turn 5. Is he going to make a move on the inside? The answer is no, I don't think so, unless he gets a good run off the exit, which he doesn't, so he stays behind. But Chatfield is looking as well. So now we're looking at Roman Quagg at the moment. Who made a slight mistake there coming through into turn 5. He's got Rahul Patel behind, and also the Williams, I think that is of, is that Santo? No, actually that is Jamie Griffiths, who is a lap down, so he needs to worry about that. So coming up and down the roller coaster part of the circuit. And so Anderson now right behind Byrne. This is the battle for P6. Meanwhile, Jesus Perronin actually in for his second stop of the race. De Ross at the moment running in P4, and crucially now, because Perronin has gone into the pits, he has got clear air in front of him. That is just what he needs. And meanwhile, this is Anderson trying to get past Byrne. Sheffield himself is going to be pitting this lap. I don't know if he'll be pitting once more, but after this one I think he probably won't be. But Anderson meanwhile goes past Byrne for 5th place into the first corner there. Perronin meanwhile comes out in P9. He's got a little bit of clear, although he does have the stays in front of him, although Perronin does have to pit once more before the end, so he is going to be, well, of course he is on the 3 stops, so it makes sense. And so Lopez at the moment running in P7, Chung in P2, Anderson is in, and so is Byrne finally for his first and only stop of the race. So Byrne comes in and 8-second stop, not too bad. Anderson is just coming out of the pits as well. And so Jake Galloway is in finally for his first stop of the race. It's been a pretty terrible first stint from him. From him. Burns has not been much better, but it has been better. that is for sure. So meanwhile, Willers is still, of course, leading. He's extending the gap over Laura Chung. As I said, I don't think Chung has got any answer to Willers' pace. And so looking at Jake Galloway at the moment, he's running in 90th position. I don't think he's going to be able to get anything out of this race. De Rossi in 3rd. He's going to be the man to look out for, because he's going to be going to the end of this race. And so we'll see what pace he does have now on the fresh tyres. He'll close up to Willows and Chung, but will he be able to close up enough for his final stint at the end? As meanwhile the Alfa Romeo comes out the pits, but behind Sontag. And so looking at Laura Chung coming in for what is going to be her final stop of the race. So she comes in. I mean, she's not like she's had a bad race, Chung. She's had a very good race, but just, you know, I suppose if buts maybes, if Willows wasn't there, she'd been leading. But Willows has been the quicker car today. But Chung has not done anything wrong. She has done her best and trying to get Lamborghini's first ever victory in the OC. Now that would be historic. Well, it's clearly going to happen at some point in the season, because they clearly do have the pace for it. I mean, we saw from Patel getting pole position in the first race of the season in Australia. So so she does come out actually in 3rd position, crucially just ahead of Jesus Perrin. That is good, of course, and well, I suppose Perrin has to pit anyway. Meanwhile, Patel and Lopez battling for 5th position. Patel on the inside, passing Lopez for P5, although Lopez is pitting this lap. Patel himself is going to be pitting a few laps later, so he's going to be going quite a long way on this set of tyres. But De Ross at the moment running in 2nd position. Meanwhile, there's a battle for 17th between Cupoc and Jake Callaway right at the back of the field. As meanwhile, Franco Lopez now comes into the pits for his final stop of the race. He's had a decent recovery. Lopez not been anything special, but he's managed to get himself into the points, which I suppose is what is really needed, is the bare necessities for him at Mercedes. But he is in, final stop is done, and that was a pretty quick stop as well. 6.4, he's going to come in, it looks like, I think, behind Santo. We've got a yellow flag on the circuit. Oh, Cupoc is out. Oh, Jake Galloway is out, and he has had a crash. I think Cupoc has obviously been involved. So, yeah, you can see Cupoc missing his rear wing. Galloway is out, so we need to have a look and see what is happening. Let's see what is happening. Who is involved? At the moment, I don't know if anyone else is involved. Meanwhile, Joseph Willis has come into the pits for his final stop of the race. So De Rossa looks set to take the lead of this the Portuguese Grand Prix. So Willows is in and changes all 4 tyres, and he goes out. And we're looking on board with De Rossa. And oh, hang on a minute, was he involved in this incident? And he's right behind Galloway and Cupoc, and he is involved in this incident. And would you believe it? De Rossa, who was set to lead this race and could have been on his way for victory here, and once again, would you believe it, gets caught up behind Galloway, and Kupok, runs into the back of Galloway, who then goes into Kupok, and they eliminate those two out of the race. And I can't believe it. So no further action between any of those three drivers, and De Rossa comes into the pits. And well, I mean, that's just handed Willows the lead of the race. It has handed Willows the lead of the race, because Chung clearly has not got the pace compared to Willows, as De Rossa comes in, and the crew aren't ready for him. They're actually just coming out right now, as they're coming to change all four tyres and the wing for De Rossa. So they do so, although the tyres have not gone back on, and so that's not good, because if you don't have tyres on, you can't rejoin. And so they let it go, but De Rossa is going nowhere, and I think that is going to spell his retirement from this race if he can't go without any wheels. So that's one way to spice up the race. So Willows now leads, of course. This is Chung second, Perrin in third, Patel in fourth, although Patel has to pit before the end. Meanwhile, this is Moichin attempting to pass Daniel Fraser. This is for P6, and Moichin goes past Fraser, who himself actually is pitting this lap for Haas, and he's had a semi-decent race for Haas, you'd have to say, but he's not done anything. I suppose he nearly had that. What he did, the only thing he's done wrong was he had that very close encounter with Franco Lopez early on in the race. He could have eliminated himself and Lopez in the process, but fortunately he didn't, and he's still in, and he's still in with a shout of possibly of some point.
Just prepare yourself for the first gear.
So, I think about 7.5 second stop, I think that was. Anderson, meanwhile, into P6, Moichin in P5. Both Aston Martins are having an absolute stonkers of races right now. Who would have thought they'd be in P5 and P6, but they've both shown very good pace, and they're on similar fuel as well, and they're very evenly matched at this moment in time. And you can see Willows obviously leading Chung in second, and also ignore the graphic saying obviously that Chung and Perrin have not stopped. They have stopped, but of course, yeah, De Rossa's retirement has caused all that. Meanwhile, Perrin is in for his final stop of the race. He's gone very long on this stint, and unfortunately for Perrin, who got his first ever pole position, it doesn't look like he's going to be getting his first ever win today. But again, he's done a good job. I suppose in the 3-stop wasn't exactly the best of strategies. Quick stop though, actually, 4.7 seconds. And so where does he come out on the circuit? He comes out in... He's actually going to come out behind Moichin in the Aston Martin. Will he come out behind Anderson as well? Where is Anderson? Anderson there, and the answer is yes. So Perrin does come out behind both Aston Martins. So we do have an Aston Martin of Moichin on the podium as things stand. But Perrin has just come out of the pits, and I don't imagine they'll be able to hold off Perrin. But we'll see what happens. Meanwhile, I think there was an overtake. I think that was Lopez, who I think just got past. I think that was Quark into the first corner there. And meanwhile, Perrin already on the back of the first Aston Martin of Julius Anderson, heading up towards the first corner, and Perrin should make light work of this car. And Perrin on the inside, is he going to make a stick? The answer is yes. Very easily done. No chance of being able to hold out on them there. Meanwhile, this is Lopez trying to go past the Williams of Felix Sontag, who has had a quiet race, but has been inside the points. We've not really noticed him, but he was one of the drivers that's been on the one stop, so he's done a very good job on the one stop in that Williams. But Lopez is set to take away points from him in towards the first corner. Lopez on the inside of Sontag. Does he make a stick? And the answer is no, although he does go a bit wide. No, and he can't make a stick there. Meanwhile, Lopez has now got Quag and Patel both for company behind. And meanwhile, Jimmy Griffiths has got a mechanical failure. He's at the back of the grid anyway, so why not punish him even more? So he is, well, he's going to pit, but it will be to no avail. Lopez tries it on the inside of Sontag, but can't make a stick. And meanwhile, Patel is trying to get past Quag as well for the last point. As Jimmy Griffiths is now coming in to repair his car failure, so he has made it back. Although, again, they might as well just retire the car now, because he's not going to be able to get anything out of this race. As meanwhile, we're looking, and oh no, Evan Byrne is out. Oh no, Evan Byrne, the winner of the last round in Germany, he is out of the race. And oh dear, it is a mechanical failure for Byrne. So it is a straight snap back to reality for Evan Byrne, and it is a puncture that has caused his retirement from this race. And so he will be getting nothing from it after getting the full 25 points. Actually, I think it may have even been 26 if he got the fastest lap. But after getting the win last time out in Germany, he is retiring here in Portugal. I suppose the week in the life of OC driver Evan Byrne. So he is out of this Grand Prix. He'll be getting no points. We're looking at Laura Chung, who going to finish a second, it looks like. Way off Willows. Willows has absolutely strolled the second half of this race. But Evan Byrne, who is actually going to be looking set to get who's set to get a good point finish on a one-stop, and actually had his favourite driver, Chris Chatfield, just in front as well, just as we were about to see some more good action, and a puncture ruins it for us. So, yeah, Byrne is out, as we already know. Meanwhile, this is the battle for third position. This is Perrin on the inside of Moichin for third, with just 5 laps to go. Moichin, unfortunately, is going to have no defence to the much faster Renault on fresher tyres, and Perrin does take third place away from Renault Moichin. And you've got to feel for Moichin, so close to getting that podium for Aston Martin, but they both, once again, had very, very solid races. You really can't fault how well they've done. But it still would have been great to see an Aston Martin podium. Meanwhile, Patel on the inside, Sontag into towards turn 1, and Patel up into 8th place. As Sontag on the one-stop now starting to struggle badly. He's now got the Alfa Romeo of Quag, who is going to try and make a move on him soon if he's not careful, if he can't hold on. And it may be a struggle for him. But see the gap, you see how far Perrin was off actually Willows on the 3-stop. But it looks set to be getting a podium for Renault, and at the moment Chung, of course, on for her first podium for Lamborghini. Not quite their first win, but it is going to come soon, I'm sure of it. So, as now we look at Joseph Willows, who's coming in towards turn 5, was looking at Felix Sontag, who's getting a little bit out of shape here. And oh my word! And on the inside goes Romain Quag. You don't see many moves around there, and Sontag was getting a little bit out of shape, as you can see on board. And Quag really took the opportunity. What a move through the eye of a needle, and manages to take away 9th place for Felix Sontag there. So great move from him, as we're onto the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Julius Anderson under pressure from Federi, who's a lap down, and he's got to be careful because Chris Chatfield is not too far behind. And we've got 2 cars out, and that is Felix Sontag and Miglos Gau, and I think they were running, and Sontag was running in 10th, so that was the battle for the last point spot, and they both eliminated themselves from the race, and that has handed Daniel Fraser 10th place. And it has happened, of course, as it has many times before, it has happened at turn 5. So, yeah, we need to see a replay of that. So this was Gal, who was trying to get past Sontag for that final point. And he was on the inside, he was going for it, an exact replica of the accident between the 2 Red Bulls of Gamba and Roque. And they are out of the race, and the incident between the 2 concluded to be a racing incident, no surprise. And we, of course, are now on the final lap of the race, and we are looking at your race leader, Joseph Willows. And, well, what a race it has been. Started in 9th, and just a shame though. Just imagine though, De Rossi didn't go into the back of Kupok. We could have had a McLaren 1-2. I mean, it still may have been a question on which McLaren would have won, but I think probably Willows would have still edged it. I think, although Kira would have been a close second, I would say. That's what I think had he stayed in. But nonetheless, Willows was certainly going to be either first or second in this race. He was going to be on the podium nonetheless, and after overtaking Laura Chung, who earlier on the race, he is going to win the Portuguese Grand Prix, take McLaren's first victory of the season, and Joseph Willows is back on the top step of the podium in the GP4 OC. He wins the Portuguese Grand Prix. He'll be absolutely ecstatic about that one. And meanwhile, Amelia Wilson just missed out on points, 11th. Laura Chung, though, shout out to her. She'll get Lamborghini's first podium of the season. She put in a great performance. No match for Willows today, but she'll be very happy to get second. Car, by the way, all the way down in 12th. Yikes. Meanwhile, Jesus Perrin will get the podium for Renault. Got his first pole position. Couldn't, unfortunately, convert that into win on the 3-stop strategy, but nonetheless, he'll still be very happy to get third position. He's coming now up the hill and across the line. You can just about see the marshal waving his flag there. Renault Moichin will take home P4 for Aston Martin. A very solid day for Aston Martin. They both Moichin and Anderson have put in very good performances. Moichin has come out on top in that battle. Federi, meanwhile, has unlapped Julius Anderson as they come to the line. And Anderson just holds off Chatfield for 5th position. And Franco Lopez recovers for 7th. Patel comes across the line in 8th. Roman Quark will take 9th position. And the last car in the points will be Daniel Fraser, just coming across the line right now. And that is the race over. So there we go. And here are the full race results after Portugal. We have Joseph Willis winning ahead of Laura Chung second, Jesus Perrin in third, Roland Motion fourth, Julius Hansen fifth, Chris Chatfield sixth, Franco Lopez seventh, Rahul Patel 8th, Roman Quagg 9th, and Daniel Fraser 10th, getting the last point for Haas. When he was in the 11th lap down, Joseph Willis getting that extra point for fast lap, so he gets 26 points. The rest of the order is as follows: Abakar 12th, Andrea Federi 13th, David Cooper 14th, JB Griffiths 15th, and Pete Sonntag and Middlescout, of course, still classified despite the incident on the penultimate lap. Evan Byrne, Kirosa de Rossa, Jake Galloway, George Roke, and Frank Gamba, all the drivers that did not finish this race and were not classified. So now we'll take a look at the drivers and constructor standings, and here we go. So fortunately for Frank Gamba, Amarkar didn't score any points today, so he remains 21 points ahead, but Jesus apparently just 1 point behind in third. Other movements include Joseph Willis moving up into the top 5, Laura Chung moving up into the top 10, or I say moving further up in the top 10 to 8th. Julius Anderson moving up into 11th position with a huge points haul. Roland Moitian moving up into 14th with his first points haul of the season, I believe that is. And you can see all the arrows moving down, lots of movements. The 4 drivers yet to score any points this season so far are Amelia Wilson, Andrea Federi, Felix Sonntag, and Mikkel Skau. So now the constructors, it's just 4 points. The gap between Red Bull and Renault, and I mean 3 points, I should say. 3 points the gap between those two. Mercedes not too far behind in third. Lamborghini moving ahead of Ferrari thanks to their victory today. McLaren just 2 points behind there as well. Aston Martin move up to 7th ahead of Haas. Alfa Romeo in 9th. Williams in 10th and AlphaTauri 11th. So of course both drivers. All teams have scored a point this season. And just was, of course, no surprise to absolutely anybody, was voted the driver of the day for winning. And so the next round, of course, will be the Spanish Grand Prix at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. My favourite race with my favourite chicane. But anyway, thanks for watching everybody. Don't forget to, as you like the video, check out our links in the description, check out our Twitter, join our Discord, check out our Wiki pages. That's it, everybody, and we'll see you for the next round in Spain. See you then.